How to effectively set up a Facebook ads campaign for your online store or for your e-commerce business. What's going on, guys? Yash here, back again with another video for you guys. If you guys haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so by clicking the button below and turn on your post notifications. Also, guys, if you guys have been enjoying my videos, or if you guys are new to my video or to my channel, my name is Yash. I do e-commerce, I do drop shipping, and I use Facebook ads to drive traffic to my websites and earn sales from it. So guys, drop a thumbs up or hit the thumbs up button down below if you guys already haven't, and stay tuned because this is an absolutely value-packed video for a lot of you guys that are just starting out, that may have some questions and really, how do I really set up my Facebook ads campaigns? Okay, now just a little bit of a disclaimer. I know other people have different strategies, they have various other strategies, but this is basically how I set up my Facebook ads, okay? It's basically the same structure, it's basically the same concept in general. So if you guys already have a product and now you guys want to go ahead and use Facebook ads to go ahead and really test that product out, launch some ads, how to effectively do so you get really a very good return, right? Or at least you guys are really maximizing your return as well. So here we are, guys. We are in my ads manager. I'm going to be diving in and explaining to you, thinking out loud, what the process is, not only why or how you do it, but also why you do a certain amount of steps, or why am I doing what I'm doing. So really, guys, stick around to the whole video. This is essentially like a mini course, basically. This will not talk so much about scaling. That will be another video which I will be making a little bit later on, but this is going to be something more towards in terms of setting up your ads when you just are launching a product or multiple products as well, okay? So like I said, guys, I do e-commerce, I do drop shipping, and I use Facebook ads to, drive traffic to my websites and generate revenue. So with that being said, guys, let's dive straight into it. So once you guys are in your ads manager, now I have the old ads manager just because I like it a little bit more, I prefer it. Some of you guys have the new ads manager, which is a little bit of a different layout, but all in all, it's basically the same concept, okay? So just follow along, guys. So what you want to do is go to create. Now, how Facebook ads work, guys, is I see it in 4 phases, okay? Phase 1, you're gonna become, or you're gonna be unprofitable. Phase 2, you're gonna become, or you're gonna start basically breaking even. Phase 3, you're gonna be profitable if you guys are reading and analyzing your KPIs and metrics and data points the right way. And phase 4 is basically maintaining that profitability, okay? With any sort of paid traffic marketing platform, there's going to be some sorts of inconsistencies, okay? So be patient, especially if you guys have a new ad account, and if you guys have a new pixel, it really takes time. How the Facebook pixel works is that it learns, okay? The more you spend, the more data you acquire, it learns, it gets smarter, it gets seasoned, it gets more mature. It basically, becomes smarter on how to find your ideal customer, okay? So again, if you guys do have a new ad account or a new pixel, it takes a little bit of time to gain momentum. It takes a little bit of time to gain that initial traction, okay? So with that being said, guys, when you guys are first testing out a product, I don't start out with engagement or PPE campaigns or traffic campaigns. I will sometimes start out with an engagement campaign. I basically like $5 or $10 a day, and I'll basically keep that running in the background, okay? So I'll basically start with a PPE campaign, 1 campaign, 2 ad sets. One of those ad sets will be open, meaning targeting worldwide countries or most e-packet worldwide countries. And the second one, I will basically use a bunch of stack interests, get an audience size about of 25 to 50 million, and just keep that single campaign running in the background. What that basically does is that it will just basically create engagement on your ad, likes, comments, shares, and whatnot for social proof, okay? So I don't really heavily rely on PPE campaigns, is because my thinking is, especially when you have a higher ad spend budget, you're gonna get engagement regardless on your ads if the ad is performing well, okay? But again, it doesn't hurt to run a PPE ad and let that ad or let that campaign running in the background at like $5 or $10 a day. So we are going to be starting out with conversion campaigns. That's the objective of the ad, right? We want people to convert. So campaign name, how I like to title it, especially if you guys are, especially if you guys are organized. This really helps. Okay, so let's say this is your first product that you're ever testing on your guys' dropshipping stores. Okay, so I will write 001 product XYZ. That's the name of the product. For this video, I don't specifically have a product, but I will be still, guiding you in terms of what to be thinking. If you guys did have an actual product, right? So you guys can follow along. So product XYZ, then you want to do website conversions, which is the optimization, and then or the objective of the campaign, and we want to do purchase because that's what we're going to be optimizing for. Okay. Now you guys can split test from the get-go if you guys want to. This just basically means testing different creatives and audiences and placements and whatnot. But you'll see why I basically don't start that right from the get-go. Okay. So I usually don't do that. If I'm ever split testing, I will just make a new campaign basically, okay, with a different ad creative. Because usually when you're split testing, you're mainly testing another ad creative or something like that, or just another ad copy in general. So I personally use campaign budget optimization, CBO. What that basically means is that your budget is basically allocated to, or on the campaign level, your budget isn't allocated on the ad set level. Okay, so if you have a single campaign and if you have 10 campaign, or if you're a single campaign and 10 ad sets, your budget will be distributed by Facebook's AI comes into play. So one campaign or one ad set can be spending $10, one other ad set can be spending $30. It really depends. So we basically let Facebook do the work. As opposed to not using CBO, we usually set the budget on each individual ad set level. Okay, so this is something I used to use, especially when scaling, but it's something that has gotten to work with me even better, even when initially testing, which means utilizing CBO. Okay, so again, always use CBO. Also from February 2020 and onwards, right now it's December, CBO will be most likely mandatory through Facebook if you guys are advertising. So why not get accustomed and why not familiarize yourself from the get-go in terms of using CBO? Okay, so how I basically start, guys, is again, I do one CBO campaign, conversion campaign. I basically start out, now this is me personally, I start out with 20 to 30 ad sets, okay? Now technically you want to allocate $5 or $10 to each ad set. Now we say technically because we aren't assigning the ad spend to each ad set. We're assigning it on the CBO campaign, okay? So depending on your budget, you may launch more ad sets or less on ad sets, but I definitely recommend at least starting out with 10 ad sets within your CBO campaign, okay? So again, let's say we're allocating $10. Now there's no really difference between $5 and $10. The more you spend, the more faster you will basically allocate your data and the more aggressively you'll spend. Sometimes Facebook will recognize that you're aggressively spending from the get-go and it will place your ads to a better quality of traffic or to a better quality of audience. Okay, but anyway, work within your guys' budget. There's no really right or wrong. So just for this purpose, let's say you guys are starting out with 10 ad sets, which is a minimum amount, and you're allocating $10 to each ad set. 10 times 10 is 100, okay? So your CBO, your budget for the entire campaign will be $100. Now, it really depends how much each ad set will be spending. That's what Facebook will basically decide, like I said before. So $100, and then we will click continue. After that, this ad set name, we just want to leave it blank for now. We will get back to it. Our destination is website because we are, the end destination is a website. It's not an app or anything like that. Optimization for delivery, always conversions because we want people to purchase. Pixel, again, we are optimizing for a purchase event, okay? That's what we are optimizing for. Where's our buddy right here? Purchase. That is really weird, guys. I'm just using an old ad account. Oh, right here. So if it's red, don't freak out. It's just because the event hasn't specifically received that specific action, so it's going to be red. If you have received a purchase on your store before, then this will obviously be green, okay? Cost control, bid strategy, and all that stuff, keep it just how it is right now by default. Manual bidding and other things like that, that kind of requires when you're more scaling, okay? You get charged per impression, that's fine. Conversion window, we're gonna leave to 7-day click and 1-day view. What that basically means is that anyone who has seen your ad within 7 days, or has clicked your ad within 7 days, or viewed it within 1 day, those are the people that are getting your ad shown. Okay, so because this is cold audiences, these are cold traffic, so it's completely fine. Sometimes when I'm scaling, I will use 1-day click or 1-day view, or even 1-day click sometimes. But usually when I'm scaling, I click 1-day click or 1-day view. Okay, so that being said, I always schedule my ads at 12 a.m. So we're going to start it at December 5th, which is tonight at midnight. The reason we want to start it at 12 a.m. is because Facebook re-optimizes better as a whole system at 12 a.m. Also, if you guys are using CBL, just to put it into logical perspective, logical standpoint, if your campaign starts at 8 p.m., then you only have 4 hours for Facebook to spend your entire budget. Okay, so it only has 4 hours to spend the $100 here. You want your spending to be allocated throughout the whole day, right? So it spends more efficiently. So always schedule them at 12 a.m. End date, I just put it at some random date because you don't know how far you're going to be scaling this campaign. Okay, so you don't want it to be turned off. So don't just put it in like a month or two after. Let's just put it March 1st. Okay, guys, so 12 a.m. Again, no ad spend limits or anything like that. Dynamic creative, we'll skip that. Offer, we'll skip that. Audiences, what we want to do is, so these are for custom audiences. Those are for your lookalikes and whatnot. That requires us to input something here when we're only scaling. Right now, we aren't. Location, we want to do people living in this location. That's what I usually put. You guys can also put people living in or recently in this location, but I like to put people living in this location. Okay, what that basically means is we're only going to be targeting people who are currently residing in that location. For example, I'm from New York City. I'm from the United States. If I was visiting Canada, I wouldn't want to be targeted because oftentimes when people are traveling, they're traveling for vacation or for leisure, or for business purposes and stuff like that, right? So again, their main focus isn't to really buy something even, right? They might not even be that technologically or like advanced, or they might not even have the proper access. Okay, so we want to only target people living in the actual location. So now what we're going to do is target our big five or top five e-packet countries. We call them the big five because these are the countries with the biggest online buyers, with the biggest credit card users in general. So those consist of the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand. So I know a lot of you guys target like a bunch of e-packet countries, but I personally don't. Again, this is just my strategy. I've seen the most traction from the following countries, okay? Canada, and then I also do 2 or 3 European countries. So I will do Ireland, and then I will do Germany. I will do Belgium, right? And then I'll also do Switzerland. Now, regardless, guys, most of your sales, if it's something general, unless like you're really country niched or niche focused in general, most of your sales will be coming from these bad boys right here, these 5 countries, okay? For me personally, US, UK, Australia, and Canada, okay? But again, you guys don't want to assume. You guys want to let the data do the talking, obviously. So that's how I set up my countries. In terms of age, I usually don't keep it at 18. I keep it a little bit older, about 21, because those people have a little bit more buying power, buying authority. They don't really have to ask for permission or anything like that. And people 21 and over, they might be working, they might have a full-time job, they might be more financially stable as well, typically, okay? 21, now I usually keep it past 65, but obviously you guys want to know your product, okay? You guys want to know your audience and buyer persona, okay? A video relating to audience and buyer persona. If you guys check out my last video on my channel, I really talk about audience and buyer persona, meaning knowing your ideal audience, okay, which kind of hands in hand and kind of relates to this. So if it's a product that's really self-explanatory, if it's like a fidget spinner, I know that's a really bad example, guys. Like you wouldn't want to be targeting anyone probably over the age of like 25 or 30 even, okay? Um, but usually if it's like a broad product, then you would just leave it 21 to 65, okay? You never want to assume unless it's really, really obvious that a specific product wouldn't really sell past a certain age. Same with gender, unless like you're in the makeup or beauty niche, you want to do woman in that case. But even in that case, sometimes, let's say I'm advertising a makeup product and I have a spouse, like a wife. I'm not married, but let's say I have a spouse that I know likes makeup and I'm targeted and I'm a man. I know I might buy it as a gift for her. Okay. So again, you always want to leave all unless it's like very, very, very niched towards like a certain demographic. Okay. You guys can always narrow down a little bit later on. Um, so we are going to leave it all in this case. Languages, we're going to edit that and we're going to do English because we want people who speak English and we want to do English all. So that's pretty much worldwide. Ignore that. Connections, that's fine. We just want to do nothing specific. So we want to leave that as default. Placements, we always want to do Instagram and Facebook. So we will uncheck audience network, uncheck messenger. We will also uncheck this, uncheck this, uncheck this. And come on, Facebook, don't break down on me. So yeah, we're going to be unchecking all of that. And we're only going to be doing Facebook feed and Instagram feed, okay? Those are the placements that work the best for e-commerce products. All the other placements, maybe for other types of products and services. Now, you guys can do in Facebook and Instagram stories, but those need another kind of ad creative, okay? The dimensions and everything are a little bit different, okay? And also story ads are a little bit shorter. I think they're like 15 seconds. And like visuals and pictures or carousels, they also work a little bit better with stories. So definitely go ahead and test them out, guys. I'm not telling you guys not to, Instagram and Facebook stories, but they do need a little bit of a different creative, okay? But just for time purposes, we're only going to do Instagram and Facebook feed right here. We're also going to do all devices right here. So that means mobile and desktop. Now, usually this time of the year, since it's the holidays, people are actively, aggressively buying. People's buying behaviors changes. If you guys are watching this in Q4 of December of 2019. So that's why I will do desktop and mobile because people are a little bit more comfortable browsing or actively browsing and buying on a desktop. Usually most of your traffic will come from mobile, but regardless, I always keep all, okay? You never want to assume. So again, we will keep devices all. Click out of this, click out of this, more options right here. Again, devices. If you guys are obviously advertising like an iPhone case, then you would want to do only iOS devices, and then you can even narrow down from there. Like even you can even like do iPhone like 10 or iPhone 11. Okay, but in this case, it doesn't matter because we are not marketing a mobile only product. Okay, so we want to do basically iOS and Android. Again, this is something that you can break down later on. I always also do this only when connected to Wi-Fi. There are certain situations when I don't, like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the holiday season, because people are very aggressively buying. Like I said before, people's buying behavioral really, really changes during this time of the year. But why do you want to do only when connected to Wi-Fi, especially when I'm using a video ad, is because one, people may not even have the data. For example, if you're walking in the mall and you come across an ad, you may not even have the proper network coverage or the data to load a video. And secondly, people buy when they're in their own leisure. When are people in their own leisure? Well, typically when people are connected to Wi-Fi, right? When people are home or when people are in a hotel or office space or something like that. Okay, so that's why we want to only do only when connected to Wi-Fi. Typically, there's certain situations where we do want to leave that unchecked. Maybe if you guys are using a carousel or image ad because that takes less effort to load. Or like during Q4, for example, I will leave it unchecked because I really want to maximize my sales, and also because people are buying aggressively, really no matter where they are, whether they be in the mall or car or anywhere. But again, that's the main purpose of why we want to leave that only when connected to Wi-Fi. Okay. So after that, guys, what we want to do is we want to click continue. Okay. Now there are different types of ads that you can do. Okay. You can do carousel ad, collection ads, video ads. I usually do video ads, especially if a product is not as self-explanatory. I usually do carousel and collection ads when I'm selling like apparel or accessories or like an iPhone case, for example, because those products are more self-explanatory. Okay, sometimes I will go ahead and make like a slideshow video for them. Again, this is when split testing comes into play, right? Which ad is going to do better, the video or the picture one? So you guys can definitely split test and make a video ad as well, even though you're selling like apparel or accessory or something like that, which is something more self-explanatory, so it basically may not need a video. Okay, if you guys are doing a video, make sure the video has a 1:1 ratio. Facebook only supports videos that are squares, and I would always and only suggest having thumbnails that are also a 1:1 ratio, basically a square. Okay, Facebook supports that the best, and your ads will be optimized more. They've recently gotten very, very strict. And again, make sure your Facebook page and your Instagram page are connected. If you guys don't know how to connect your Instagram page, if you go to business settings for your specific ad account, and if you go on the left underneath accounts, you can click on Instagram and connect your account. That's really, really simple because we want to be making sure we're reaching from your Facebook page, but also reaching from your Instagram page as well. Okay, so first things first, let's say we're going to be doing a video. Now guys, I'm not going to be going through the entire process of me uploading the video and me uploading the thumbnail and stuff like that. For that though, I promise I will not leave you guys hanging. I will leave a link in the description below where I basically talk about ad copy. Okay, different types of ad copies, what to look for in ad copy, market psychology, market intuition. That's what I'm going to be basically talking about in that video. And I even show one of my own ads and one of my clients' ads as well that we set up together. So I will leave a link to that in the description below. When you guys have gotten to this point in terms of the video, you guys can definitely go ahead and watch it after, or even pause this and watch that video and then go back to this one. Okay, so I will leave a link to that in the description below, and I talk all about ad copy and just about this section in general. Okay, what's really, really cool is that Facebook, they basically allow you to split test your primary text, which is the main text, the headline, which is usually in the bold, and the description. So I've been using this very effectively. I usually add 2 for primary text, 2 for headlines, and 2 for descriptions. It basically says that you can add up to 5 options, and Facebook will basically show people the combination they're most likely to respond to. So it basically uses its AI. And if you guys want to learn more, you guys can click on this. So guys, that's something I've been experimenting with for the past month, because this is a new feature that Facebook has rolled out with. Okay, so I definitely recommend doing that. I think it's really efficient to do so. Call to action, guys. Again, I will talk about this in the ad copy video that will be in the description below. But I will usually always do shop now, especially if it's an obvious product. Sometimes, depending on the nature of the product, I will do learn more. Okay. Obviously, make sure your tracking is good. All your pixels are integrated and whatnot, and you should be good to go after that, guys. Okay. In terms of thumbnail, guys, thumbnail is very, very important because thumbnail really determines your click-through rate. That and the text itself determines the click-through rate in terms of how many people will be clicking the actual video. Okay, so these are some examples of thumbnails. Okay, it's a 1:1 ratio. I like to have a logo or a watermark or something of my store. It basically shows the product, how it's being used, something that's incentivizing. Okay, something that will click with people, like, oh wow, I really, really need this. You basically want people to realize that they really need your product before they even click on your site. Okay, just by looking at your ad. Okay, so this is one variation. Okay, and that has some text on it. Experience the most comfortable posture massage cushion. It's basically like a hook addressing something to a specific audience. And this is another one. Okay, it's always good to split test. I recommend having 2 videos and 2 thumbnails, or 2 different sorts of carousel ads, or 2 different sorts of single images ads, whatever you guys are using. Have always 2 or 3 variations of it. Okay, some of them might get a better response and higher click-through rate, and even a lower CPM, which is cost per 1,000 impressions. Even this one, this is more specific and it's more professional. Hips, knees, back, and neck pain. Check out the most comfortable orthopedic posture massage cushion. Okay, this basically is for posture correcting, which, hint hint, these products have done very well. If you guys are or have been in this game for a little bit, for a while now, you know that that the posture corrector, that product really blew up. So you guys will start to recognize patterns and trends in products as well. That's a completely different video that relates to product research and validation, and using market logic. But again, just kind of not going off the topic. That's the main purpose here of a thumbnail. Okay, and you guys can definitely use this as a benchmark to create your own. I also use Canva to make my own thumbnails. They're 180 by 180, that's the dimension. So Canva is absolutely great. I use this for marketing purposes, social media purposes, website purchases, or website reasons. It's really, really great to customize and make a bunch of different things. So if you guys go here, go to create design, 180 by 180, height and width. You guys can basically make a thumbnail, and these two are exactly made on Canva, no gas. Okay, guys. So that is that. After you guys set up all these ads, obviously what you want to do is after you set up one ad. Oh, guys, a big important thing that I did forget, and that requires targeting. Okay, your detailed targeting. So you're gonna have 10 single interest ad sets. Okay, you want your audience size to be between 1 and 15 million. Okay, that's a good audience size to have. 1 and 15 million. You guys can see the potential reach right here. I did save this to the end because the audience size will be accurate once we add all of these other changes and edits. Also, we want to uncheck this, expand your detailed targeting to reach more people. This basically means that Facebook will go ahead and find other people and it will expand on your interests, but those won't be really trackable. Those won't be really relevant. So we only want data and actions that are basically trackable, okay? So we always want to leave that unchecked. In terms of detailed targeting, I basically use a tool called Sell the Trend. I will leave a link to that in the description below. I use very less tools. That and AdSpy are the only tools I use. But Sell the Trend is a very nice and effective tool in terms of finding different interests. In terms of interest, I look at behavioral interest, demographic interest, companies, brands, magazines, blogs, articles, TV personalities, TV shows. There's a whole bunch of things that you guys can actually think when we come to interest targeting. Okay, now this also relates to audience persona and buyer persona, which will be the last video. So definitely check that out because this kind of overlaps in general. Okay, knowing your product, what it does, its features, and its end result, and the market audience is very important. So these are some of the things that you guys want to start thinking in terms of single interest targeting. I usually only have an ad set with one interest. Sometimes I will stack or flex target, meaning having 2 or 3 of similar, notice when I say similar, interests, okay? And you want your audience size to be about 1 to 20 million, definitely not under 1 million. If it's a little bit over 20 million, that's completely fine. So I will leave a link to Sell the Trend. I use it to find my interest. And another way you want to frame it is what kind of people will be interested in X, X being the interest, that will be also interested in buying my product, okay? So once you guys set up your ads, this will obviously be one interest. So let's say this interest is called, let's just do cars, okay? So we will name this, after we press that, we will name this cars, okay? I name all of my ad sets by its interest. After you have that, you will see when we go back that you will have underneath in your campaigns, you'll have that ad set called cars, okay? Then what you want to do is just duplicate that ad set 9 more times, and all you want to do is just swap out the interest. Just go in each individual ad set, keep track of it, and just swap out the interest. That's all you want to do. Everything else will be the same because you're duplicating the ad sets, okay? So create that 9 more times and create different interests. I always like to have a plethora of different variations of interests in my campaign so you can see who your ideal audience is. You can really get an idea, who your best fit is for your actual product. Okay, most products will have multiple audiences, which is again what I talk about in that video. So guys, after you set your ads up, you want to let them run for 72 hours, 3 days at least, for them to be in the learning phase, of them to properly optimize. Give it time, be patient, don't touch them. The metrics can increase, decrease, change, and whatnot. After 72 hours, you want to leave all ad sets off, or any ad sets on. You want to leave any ad set on that has received an add to cart event, initiate checkout, or purchase event. Okay, right now any purchase is good. Any ROAS, any return on ad spend is good because we're cold targeting. Okay, turn off any ad sets that has a cost per click of below $2. Okay, you don't want your cost per click, how much it's costing for each person to click, that average above $2. CPM, sometimes during Q4 it's a little bit higher because of the bidding war. Facebook is essentially a bidding war. Okay, it's like a whole space taken up by advertisers. So sometimes that's 20, 25, 30 bucks, which is fine, but we usually aim for 10 to 20 bucks. Let me change this. Not even 15 to 25, 10 to 20 bucks. And click-through rate, we want to have above 2%. Okay. Usually cold interest targeting, it may be 1 to 2%. Once we start doing lookalikes, we're basically narrowing down an audience to a more specific audience. So you want your click-through rate to be at least above 2 to 3%. That's usually good. Okay. What you want to do after is, let's say you have 5 ad sets off and 5 ad sets on. Okay, so what we want to do is edit the campaign, and that 5 ad sets that are on, we want to edit the campaign and up the CBO budget by 25%. So we want to raise the entire campaign budget by 25%. Also, simultaneously, what you want to do is make a new CBO ad set, okay, or make a new CBO campaign with 5 to 10, new single interest ad sets. Now, these 5 to 10 new single interest ad sets, you guys can, basically base off of the 5 ad sets that are already working. Okay, so let's say in this, we had 5 ad sets that we turned off, 5 ad sets that we, turned or left on. So you guys want to make a new CBO with 5 or 10 ad sets, based on similar or like ones that are already working. You don't want these new ad sets to be in this other or original campaign, otherwise they will basically overpower it. Initial campaign, you're going to leave on and monitor for 48 hours. After 48 hours, if you're still profitable, if you see that the metrics haven't changed that much, especially cost per click, CPM and CTR, and you see that you're getting purchases, you're getting add to carts, and you're getting initiate checkouts, we want to basically break down each individual ad set by delivery, right? By age, gender, country, placement, device. Okay, so if we go back to the ads manager right here, let's leave this. The breakdown tab will basically let this guy load. Breakdown tab is, so we can't really break it down right now. Right here, breakdown, you want to break down by age, gender, country, placement, and device. Okay, so you want to break each ad set down, and what you guys want to basically look for is which section of the ad set or which audiences within the ad set, right? Each ad set has different like age groups and whatnot, is getting more link clicks, lower CPCs, more video watch time. Okay, so those are the KPIs and metrics you want to look for: age, gender, country, placement, device for each individual ad set. And then you want to break it down. How I like to do it to stay organized is, let's say your ad set name is cars, age, right, gender, country, placement, device, right? So after you guys go in that breakdown tab, you'll see, oh wow, age, I'm getting more link clicks, I'm getting more add to carts, I'm getting lower CPMs from 35 to 55-year-olds. Why waste your ad spend on all the other ages? Oh, gender, I see that most women are clicking this and most women are buying. Country, I see that there's more traction from the US and UK. Placement, oh, I see that only Facebook feeds are doing well as opposed to Instagram feed. Device, oh, I only see that mobile, and on top of that, iOS users are giving more traction to that specific ad set. Okay, now this is only one ad set, so this is what you want to do for all of the different ad sets, basically. Okay, you want to break them down by delivery, and then after you break them down by delivery, after these 48 hours have passed, you want to basically increase the budget by 25% more. Okay, and this is basically called vertical scaling. This is what we're doing. Vertical scaling, guys, right here. Okay, so guys, that is the full breakdown of how I set up my ads. You guys got to see it. You guys got to see my thumbnails. Definitely check out my last video, guys. I talk a little bit about like audience persona, buyer persona, and more into like just ad creative in general. I talk about that a little bit more, okay, because they all overlap in general. So check out my last video. Link will be in the description. Now, if you guys need a little bit more help in terms of scaling and really scaling to that next level, I will be making a video for that soon. Or if you guys want to hop on a one-on-one growth call with me, where we can screen share, see each other's screens, I can help you guys, I can guide you guys. I will leave a link to that in the description as well, so you guys can schedule a one-on-one call with me. Other than that, guys, like, subscribe, check out my social medias down in the comments below. Or down in the description below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or thoughts, leave it down below. Other than that, guys, I really hope you guys got some value from this. Like, subscribe, and again, I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Peace.